here's the problem with India. It's a two-pronged problem. There's 50% tariffs on India. 25% of them is the reciprocal tariff because of unfair trade. 25% is the fact that India is buying oil from Russia. So start with the reciprocal trade tariffs. The problem is that India literally is the Maharaja of tariffs. It has the highest tariffs of any major country in the world, and it's in denial about that. It tries to tell everybody out there that that's not true when it is demonstrably true. So they should engage with us. They haven't done that as Japan, Korea, the Philippines, Indonesia, the European Union has. They simply think they continue having their way with us. President Trump's not going to allow that. Now, with respect to the tariffs, the 25% tariffs on India's buying oil from Russia, this is an incredible situation. Every one of you, when you report this story, should report the following fact. This is the first fact. India, for all practical purposes, did not buy any oil to speak of from Russia before Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. How many of you knew that? Probably not many. The way this oil trade worked is once Russia invaded and they were figuring out ways around to sell their oil, Russian refiners went to refiners in India, got in bed with them. Some of them actually help produce right in India now. Putin gives India a discount on crude. They refine it, sell at premium prices to Europe, Asia, and Africa. It's nothing but profiteering. India cannot stand on the thin reed that somehow they need this oil to run their cars or cool their homes. It's false, just simply false. And so here's how this works. This is the crazy math of this for the American people. Listen to me carefully here. India charges the highest tariffs in the world, has the highest non-tariff barriers. So they export a bunch of stuff to us. We can't export to them. Our workers and our businesses get hammered by India. India then uses the money we give them buying their exports to buy Russian oil. The Russians use the money from the Russian oil to build more bombs and weapons and drones to kill Ukrainians. And then the Ukrainians come to us in Europe to ask for more money from our taxpayers to pay for that. That's crazy. So the road to peace in many ways runs at least partly through New Delhi. It's time for Modi to step up. I have great respect for Modi. I love the Indian people. It was a shame to see Modi getting in bed as the leader of the biggest democracy in the world with the two biggest authoritarian dictators in the world, in Putin and Xi Jinping. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what he's thinking, particularly since India has been in a Cold War and sometimes a hot war with China for decades. So we hope that the Indian leader comes around to seeing that he needs to be with us in Europe and Ukraine and not with Russia on this, and he needs to stop buying the oil. Okay?
Then why not impose those secondary sanctions on China, which is a massive purchaser?
Well, that's a separate issue. I would just remind you that we have now 50% tariffs on India. How much do we have on China? How much do we have on China? What's that?
30%.
No, it's over 50% total on China. Okay, so the question is, how much more can you do? And there's a lot of things going on there. So I think that this issue is complex, but at a minimum, India's got to stop doing. You got to follow up? No, go ahead.
Well, back to my first question about
who you were with, by the way?
With the pool today.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I first asked about the show of unity between Xi, Putin, and Modi.
Yeah, it's troublesome. It's troublesome. India is the biggest democracy in the world by population. Historically, India has been in a Cold War with communist China for decades. China has funded Pakistan's military. China helped Pakistan develop its nuclear weapons. China has invaded India repeatedly, particularly a place called Aksai Chin. I don't know if you're aware of that area, and actually has taken territory from India and still holds it. The Chinese patrol now far into the Indian Ocean and are challenging Indian sovereignty in the Indian Ocean. But at the same time, we're seeing China and its entrepreneurs and oil refiners getting into bed with Indian business people, and that relationship is toxic. I mean, a lot of this dumping that occurs, China now is using India as a big transshipment hub for all sorts of products to avoid the Chinese tariffs. So, let's see what happens. President Trump, every American should thank President Trump for flagging this issue and calling India out on these issues, because we don't want to be about the business of trying to defend Ukraine with funds and weapons and things like that, when our money is going to somebody who's cheating us, and they're using that money to give to the Russians to buy weapons, kill Ukrainians, and then use our taxpayer money.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.